This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in the headquarters of Parker, Colorado, of Front Range Global Tracking Systems. Basically brand new 2012. They have been providing peace of mind by monitoring where the whereabouts of your drivers are at. Basically, I'm here with the founder and the owner. Let me ask you, Robin, what got you involved in this type of industry, first of all?
Actually, I got into it because of my mom. She was a senior. She actually passed away last year at 100 years old. Wow. And she had several spills during the course of the last couple of years of her life, and we looked for a product that we could use to keep track of her, essentially. And we didn't have much luck finding it. We tried a couple of things, but they didn't work to the benefit of her, so eventually we wound up sending them back.
Wow, that's a great personal story. Let me ask you this type of service here, why is it more possible today from a cost standpoint, possibly than even 10, 15 years ago?
Technology's advanced so quickly, Gary. There has been a, how do I say it? It's comes down to the federal government has deregulated a lot of these or declassified a lot of these technologies, making them available to the average user. So within the last 10 years, a lot of these products have come to fruition as a result of that. And obviously, as the economies of scale affect it, the price comes down.
And the end consumer wins in the long run, which is great. Let's talk about this device first of all. Are we talking about one device that goes on an automobile, some that go on people? What does the device itself look like, and is there an installation required?
There are a number of different devices. The simplest is this particular one, and I could probably show it to you later up close, but essentially it's a device that allows you to track a person, an individual, an asset, a pet, online via our software, and at the same time you can also, if need be, contact the person that's holding the device or wearing the device, or they can contact you. There's an SOS button right in the middle of it, and they push the button, hold it, and it will make a phone call and send a text.
Now what about on an automobile? Would it be a larger device or the same type of device?
There are several larger devices. One of them actually plugs right into the onboard diagnostic port, which is essentially a plug-and-play type device. You don't have to do anything except plug it in, and then it becomes a tracking device. There are more sophisticated devices also that would be hardwired into your automobile or your truck or your van or whatever, and those would be devices that would give you a lot more metrics, essentially, than the basic device would. So
wonderful. One of the reasons you started the company was a personal standpoint there, but quite honestly, share with me before we get into some of the personal, from a business standpoint, this absolutely has to help businesses become more profitable. Share with some of the ways here.
Yes, absolutely. The first way and the most important way, I think, is in saving gasoline. Okay. Because a business owner is actually looking at trying to cut costs wherever they can.
Sure. And
any vehicle that's not where it should be or is burning gasoline at idle when it shouldn't be is costing a business owner money. The other thing is also that the business owners, when they don't know where their vehicles are, their vehicles could be someplace that it's not quite savory, or perhaps they're not doing their job, you know.
Talk about total control from the luxury of your desktop with anyone out there. I imagine this works great for trucking industries, taxi service, limo service, all those across the board.
Pretty much. You could name an industry, and almost any industry would benefit from it.
Wonderful. I know one of the most valuable things for people to have out there is their sales force. And obviously, like you say, time is money. How does this help with the sales force, just knowing where your people are at? Not only that, but for safety reasons.
Well, in the case of an accident, let's say, you may not know where your salesperson or your sales force is. So if they suddenly disappear off the radar, what do you do if you can't reach them?
Right.
So this device actually gives you the option to be able to find where they are, see if they're in motion, see if they're actually contactable. And as an individual device, if you're wearing it, you can also track the person and see if they're where they're supposed to be.
As from a business standpoint, again, it looks, let's say, for instance, you have valuables in the car. We're talking about jewelry, art dealers, that type of thing. Works great for that, has to.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we have suggested to a number of industries, even industries as obscure as people that ship caskets, bodies, that kind of stuff. Expensive jewelry, rings, anything that's got a unique amount of value to it, because you put this in with the package, you ship it out, you know where it is at all times. So if it doesn't arrive when it's supposed to arrive, you just go online, check it, and you can find out exactly where it is.
What a peace of mind for the business owner out there. Let's shift over to the personal side a little bit here. Obviously, as a parent, first thing that comes to mind for me, I'm talking about I got a 16-year-old, she's a new driver. Does this work for them as well?
Absolutely. This is one of the areas that we tend to concentrate on, is new drivers. Primarily drivers that have a learner's permit or have recently started driving, and the parents want peace of mind, which is what we try to sell, peace of mind, because you know where your child is at all times.
Wonderful. And you also said the elderly, it's great for them because you're talking about a two-way communication. You've got an SOS button on there as well. What about people with special needs, disabilities?
Yes, absolutely. People with Alzheimer's, with Asperger's, somebody that's got dementia, even slight dementia. It's a great product to have, because if you get into trouble, you lose your way, you push the button, and you have instant access to the person that you care about most, and they can talk to you.
Wonderful. Peace of mind is definitely something you put in your service here. But I would imagine somebody like a hiker, a skier, people out and about, it can almost be life-saving.
It can, and there are devices that do that as well. Some of our devices will allow you to go out into the backcountry, and you can actually find the person. Where the technology tends to fall short is these devices still require a combination of the satellite service and cell service. So if you leave cell service areas, that's when they start to fall short. So there are limitations, as with any technology, to what these devices can do.
Wonderful. Well, folks, we've explained a little bit about the businesses that can benefit from this service, and also personal individuals. And if you take a look at the bottom of the screen right there, you're going to see their website information. On the website, you're going to see the different services they provide and offer. They even have an online demo right there. You can go in, check it out, and you're going to get an idea of what it feels like to be in control right there at your desktop. Speaking of the technology, I imagine we've got competitors out there, but really it's all about technology and years of research that you guys have put in to basically put the best out there.
It's a combination of things, Gary, absolutely. Technology is advancing constantly. One of the areas that we try to tell people about that they're not aware of is that there is a huge difference from one technology to another. Even though it looks like you're getting a good deal, there's a reason why you're getting a good deal on a piece of equipment. It's usually an older technology, or it's not as efficient or as accurate. So there are a lot of variables. And I get constant questions about that from clients. Why is the price what it is? Why is it not less expensive? Well, you can buy less expensive, but you risk the fact that the technology is going to be discontinued very shortly.
Well, I can tell you from a parent standpoint, there's really no price you can put on my 16-year-old being out there. I'm sleeping better at night. I would absolutely say go with the best you can possibly get. One thing, maybe somebody doesn't have parents out, but they have pets. What about if you want to track a pet?
Yep, we have devices that do that as well. There are devices that will work strictly like within a range, that work on Wi-Fi. These do not use satellite service so much as they use Wi-Fi to track the pet. There are also other devices that will use GPS, so you can find that pet no matter where it is. Interesting story, we had a friend of ours that actually bought a device from us, and she put it on her pet because the pet kept disappearing. And she found out that what was happening is the animal was going from house to house, so he had 3 homes. And he was actually getting fed at each house, So she was very curious as to why he was disappearing all the time and why he was never super hungry, because he was well fed, and that's what it turned out to be.
That is very cool. The whereabouts of your loved ones, as well as whereabouts of all your business doings going out there in the field. Let me ask you, folks that want to get involved out there, how does it begin? Do they go online and do a demo, and is there a consultation involved, or what do you do?
Yeah, you can do that. You can go online, you can look at the product. As you said, we have demonstrations online. I would recommend that somebody take a closer look at the device via a consultation before actually purchasing it, so they get a full understanding of what they do, what the capabilities are, what they're actually investing in, because it's an investment in your loved one. That's how I look at it, or your business. And at that point, you can make a decision. as to whether or not it's something you want to invest in. You know, what I say to people more often is your priorities are what keeps you from buying something. What's most important to you in terms of safety. I had a situation recently come up where I was talking to someone and they said they couldn't afford the device, and then about 2 minutes later we got onto the topic of Christmas, and he said to me, well, I'm buying my kid a PlayStation. And I'm like, well, that's $400, which is like almost double the cost of a GPS device. You're worried about your kid, being out there and not knowing where he is, but then your priorities kind of like in the wrong place, I think,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Let me ask you, for somebody, let's say a company out there wanting to do a trial, do a 7-day trial, something like that, is that available and is that a possibility?
Yes, absolutely. We offer that as an option for anybody that's interested in buying.
Oh, great, wonderful. And let me ask you, are there any benefits as far as insurance-wise for actually having a GPS unit?
Insurance companies are starting to get on board. Certain insurance companies, when it comes to business options, might offer discounts. The other thing that is something of value to a business owner when they travel interstate is that these devices will print out a report called an IFTA report, and that actually offers a complete report of any trips that the vehicles make in or out of state. And any vehicle that travels out of state, the gas tax is deductible from your taxes. So, but you have to have the IFTA report in order to be able to use it on your income taxes.
Wonderful. Folks, once again, websites at the bottom of the screen right there we're talking about. It basically makes total sense for a company to have and be in control of out in the field. And from a personal standpoint, we're talking about peace of mind. Once again, that is Front Range Global Tracking Systems, the very best in GPS. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.
The emotional toll that financial stress can bring is why we offer debt relief services. Attorney Kevin Heipel has served over 5,000 clients. His qualified staff in each location understands how liberating it is to have your debt eliminated and your credit restored. We give you the personal attention you deserve, like we have for thousands of satisfied clients. We help good people like you get out of debt.
This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Longmont, Colorado. We are here with Dr. Mom, basically the digestion expert. Since 2004, she has been helping those struggling with digestive disorders. Dr. Mom, Deb, thank you for joining us here today. Let's start off sharing, first of all, you grew up as a country girl, basically a background in agriculture. What got you involved in this industry?
Well, it was my own health challenges, actually.
Interesting. So basically, this was a personal need that started. Tell me what happened.
Well, I did work in agriculture research, and I was exposed to a lot of chemicals at the time. I started getting more sinus infections every year, respiratory issues, ended up with some asthma, and the doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on. Plus, I had some other things going on. It just all sort of snowballed. I was actually stung by a bee and went into anaphylactic shock. And so all of these different things were going on in my life, and I felt totally lost. And I'd go into the doctor and say, I'm having these problems. I'm tired of being on antibiotics. They didn't have any answers for me.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. Digestion, pretty simple enough. Quite honestly, something that a lot of people take for granted. We don't think about things like that if it's not bothering us. For those that are burdened, really it's a burden that happens quite often throughout the day because really every time you eat.
Exactly.
Tell me, when you come across people like this, are the symptoms sometimes, do they start off so slow that people basically question themselves as to, is there something going on, or they basically know it? Tell me about that.
Well, it does start out very subtly.
Okay.
So people might say, well, I ate something and it disagreed with me. Well, if that keeps happening a little bit more often and more often, we know that there's something going on and there's more of a root cause. It's not just a one-time thing.
Interesting. Be it a subtle coming on little by little or even chronic, what are some of the symptoms that we're talking about here?
Well, the clients that come to see me, oftentimes they just say they have horrible stomach pain. After they eat, sometimes even in between meals. Gas, bloating is a big issue. So we know that there's some sort of dysfunction going on in the digestive tract.
Wonderful. And are we talking about also like acid reflux? Is that something that people experience?
Yes, extremely so. And it can be anything from a mild situation to something where it's actually burning all the way up their throat. They feel something stuck in their throat.
I used to really look down on acid reflux. Well, it doesn't sound too serious. It happened to me. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Exactly. It is. It's nasty.
It's terrible. Basically, if we go out there, we look at over-the-counter stuff we can get. They tell us to take a pill, cover up a lot of these symptoms. You really like getting to the root of the problem, and that's how you get your long-term results. Tell me why.
Well, like you said, medication just really does cover up the problem, but there is something dysfunctioning in the microflora in the digestion. And it's what I call the digestion ecology. So there's microflora in there that get upset, and we need to readjust that, reevaluate, and then heal the actual injury to the tissue in the digestive tract.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. What are the risks involved if somebody basically leaves a lot of this unchecked? Basically, they don't take care of it. Can that spawn on or start other chronic problems?
Yes, it can. It often leads to immune deficiency diseases like arthritis, any kind of like lupus or fibromyalgia, even heart disease because of the inflammation in the body. So if you have a very well-functioning digestive tract, you have very little inflammation in your body. By undigested foods, it causes a lot of inflammation, and that can go to any part of the body.
Interesting. Share with us some of these programs here. Let's start off, first of all, with a digestive quick fix. What does that entail?
That entails a food sensitivity assessment. So the way I do that is through a form of biofeedback called muscle response testing. And the client will walk out with a list of foods that are actually what I believe are causing inflammation in their system. Their muscle testing weak on those foods. And it's a snapshot in time for that day. They will also come around or come off with knowing what's actually going on in their digestive tract. I test for candida, H. pylori bacteria, parasites, whether their digestive tract is functioning. Are they making enough enzymes? Are they making enough hydrochloric acid? So there's all kinds of different things that could be going on, and when they muscle test weak on those points, that gives us an idea that those are out of balance.
Interesting. How does that differ from the digestion rescue?
Digestion rescue goes a little bit deeper. So I muscle test for all the nutritional points and points for the organs and also for some toxicities. So the client will go away having a baseline health assessment or nutritional assessment, and then they'll also have a program to bring them back into balance. We'll also talk about a cleansing program and some detoxifying with the Ion Cleanse foot bath as well.
If I've got a real chronic problem, the digestion deep dive, is that the full meal deal?
That's the full meal deal. That's my favorite one, actually, because I really get to help people transform their lives. We do a lot of detoxification during a 4-month period, 16 weeks, and it also goes into your belief system. Do you believe that you can be well? Your stress levels, and how can we bring that down and deal with stress that's going to work long term for you?
So you're talking about you start delving into some of the more modalities that you offer. Tell me a little bit about the theta healing. What is that and how does that work?
The theta healing is a way of actually finding limiting beliefs that keep people stuck where they are. They can't move forward, and that may be with healing, or it may be in relationships, in any aspect of their life. And the theta healing can actually change those beliefs and the vibration of those beliefs down to the DNA level. It is extremely powerful. I've seen amazing things happen with the theta healing, and when you use that in conjunction with nutritional counseling, it's amazing.
We're talking about head to toe, you cover it all. Speaking of to toe, let's talk about the ion cleanse with the foot bath. What is that?
That's where the client puts their feet in a foot bath of water, and there's something called an array that actually pumps ions into that water, which helps detoxify the body. And the client's water will go from clear to very dark and full of particulates, depending upon how many toxins are being drawn out of the body.
So, like you say, it's a very deep detoxification that they go through. Obviously, it's a customized for each person, basically, that walks through the door. You really have to know what's going on. And then you also believe in supporting the body, because basically if the body's working well, it's going to fight off a lot of this and maybe let it not happen in the first place. How are you able to do that with Reiki?
Well, Reiki is a form of energy healing. Once again, it's balancing the energy flow in the body, and if there's stuck energy, then the body can't heal the way it should.
Interesting. Is this something that basically you've done for many years, and have you had good success with it?
Yes, I have. It's extremely relaxing. It's very powerful for people who have been in traumas or accidents. People heal much faster with energy work.
Wonderful. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is Dr. Mom's website right there. On the website, you're going to find the contact information right there. Honestly, if you're not sure if this is something for you, she's just a telephone call away. She basically has been through this experience before, and she understands basically what you're going through. You can also see her education right there online, as well as some great testimonials of people who have benefited. Make sure and fill it out right there, and she will also give you a free report, and she can email you out some of the latest tips and advice that she possibly has out there as well. Let me ask you, obviously, like, you have gone through this yourself before. Do you feel you're really able to relate with people at a gut level?
I do, actually. I have been through it, and it breaks my heart to see people suffer when they don't have to.
Interesting. And like you said, when you did it, it was probably a rather overwhelming and lonely journey.
It was. It was a very dark time for me. And I see that in many of my clients are struggling.
Somebody out there who's struggling, they're maybe afraid to step out and try something. What would you tell them?
I would say find someone that you feel comfortable with. There's tons of information on the internet right now. There's lots of books out there. It's really important to get back to the basics.
Back to the basics. That you heard it there from Dr. Mom. It's a common sense, natural approach to health. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.
Medical Massage International provides the public with independent, competent healthcare practitioners through the art of massage. We train therapists to last and sustain a career beyond our school by entering them into the medical world of massage. Establishing core values within our students to bring out the best in themselves is our goal. You too can join this diverse group of therapists to thrive in the medical massage world.
Fisher Van Lines is a family-owned and operated Denver mover with the experience and resources to manage your residential or commercial relocation. From planning and packing, transport, and unpacking, we offer an array of professional moving and storage solutions to meet your needs. When you choose Fisher Van Lines as your Denver movers, you get a trained professional staff to ensure your move is well executed, on time, and on budget.
Canine Rehabilitation and Conditioning Group leads the industry of animal rehabilitation, and our caring team will help your dog or cat to feel stronger, move better, and get back into the game of life. Our rehabilitation experts are leading the industry of restoring quality of life to geriatric, injured, overweight, post-operative, and neurological or otherwise compromised dogs through physical therapy and integrative veterinary approaches.